One of my heroes is a woman named Temple Grandin. She single-handedly changed the cattle industry. Now, Temple had a severe form of autism, and through a series of events in her teens and early 20s, she began to see elements that calmed her were the same elements that calmed a herd of cattle. The techniques she developed changed the whole cattle industry. Now, she's my hero for many reasons. Not only did she overcome her disability, she worked in an industry that was 100% dominated by males, and she never gave up. I was hooked. Having been raised around cattle too, I began the same study just for fun, and it was fascinating to me. The reason I mention this is I've taken that study of herd movement and applied it to the stock market. I observed a long time ago that traders tend to move just like a herd of cattle. Cattle tend to bunch together, and then when one cow moves, they move on. Well, traders do the same thing. They tend to buy in concert and sell in concert. Think of cattle. One cow lifts ahead, ambles off, pretty soon the whole trade is falling right behind her. Now that's when things are calm. A stampede is a little different. It's when they take off at a big old run. Well, the same thing happens in the stock market when the panic sets in and people start selling. While I look at indicators and studies for my trading, I'm much more apt to look and watch the herd. I'm just looking for one little movement and picking up on that. I'm weeks and days ahead of the rest of you guys. A good example of this happened last week. Since the beginning of the year, the stock market's been going steadily up. Now it's had small pullbacks, and those pullbacks are called bull flags. But a smart trader doesn't panic or worry about those. They're just a natural part of the movement. This week, however, the old herky-jerky movement raised its ugly head again. And that's when I went on alert. Things may be changing. Now, a smart trader sees that change, goes on alerts, and if things start falling apart, they change their style of trading. And that's exactly what I'll do. I actually draw a line in the sand and say to myself, hey, if the price breaks below that line, I need to change my approach. Spotting these changes early will lead to better and smarter trading. So how do you acquire this herd watching ability? Well, if you're new at trading, my best advice right now is sign up for our Blueprint class. You'll get your feet wet and you'll begin to understand all the possible ways to look at the market. Now, if you've been around for a while, the Blueprint may not be applicable for you, but there are other courses out there and they're darn good. They're so good that some of the companies I used to be affiliated with, they're still using them. I'm honored, but I think it's still better to get your information right from the horse's mouth, or in this case, right from the movement of the herd. So take the quiz below. It'll help you find where you should start this fascinating journey, and I want to thank you for listening.